A wise man once said, "A quiet man's heart beats louder than the wildest horse." After our last encounter, I decided to take some time off. I headed out to Quaker's Cove in hopes of clearing my mind of all the recent events. I was still being hunted by bandits and now had a bounty on my head. I know one day they'll come for me, and all hell will break loose. Because even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil or foe before me. As I relished the peaceful night, I couldn't help but notice some activity occurring near the cabin. I'm curious about who could be behind it.
I'm so glad you came. Thank you.
Seems your efforts have not been entirely in vain, but have produced some rather surprising results. Well, not surprising, but...
Confusing. Confusing. After castigating me as a widow, a harlot, a fool, a mad woman, anything and everything. Suddenly, shortly after we killed his brother-in-law, Amos Lansing wants to talk. He sent word via an intermediary.
Mr. Jones.
Even that crazy old fool said not to trust any of it.
Which is why we need you. You're to help keep Mrs. Leclerc protected during the meeting at Blackwater.
I shouldn't imagine they would kill us in broad daylight, but you never know. I never imagined they'd kill my husband, nor turn me into a fugitive. Anyway, friends, shall we go? Today may go any number of ways, but I want to make sure once the shooting starts, all of them end up dead.
One of you drive the wagon, the other keep guard.
Thank you. All of you. This means... well, it means something. I don't know exactly what yet, but...
I don't think any of us think Mr. Lansing has become a saint, madam, but perhaps we should hear him out.
Perhaps.
As the dust settled, we rode into Blackwater, the heat of the sun beating down on us.
Some bandits have. Remember, this is not just the man who killed my husband.
The lady's eyes gleamed with a fiery determination, her hand steady on the grip of her revolver. And there, in the heart of the town, we found our target. It was time for revenge, and I knew I wasn't riding into this showdown alone. My crew and I were locked and loaded, prepared for whatever the universe decided to throw our way.
Good luck. And thank you.
They're here!
Take this. I'll be back. Let's go. Well, hello, darling.
Good to see you, Mr. Lansing.
You too. Jessica! How lovely to see you. Why, it's been
A long time? No, it hasn't. Not compared with all eternity.
Oh, Jessica, I miss Philip every day. It's awful what happened to him. Quite terrible, but you seem... My dear, you seem under the misapprehension that I had something to do with his demise.
You, your wife, or your business partner. At least one of you did. And your brother-in-law. But he's dead.
Well, he was a bad man. I'm glad he was killed.
Sure. It cleans up your mess, doesn't it?
You don't seem quite well, my dear.
I'm not. I am destroyed with grief.
Oh, of course. Yeah, life can be terrible, but... Well, there is a business matter that we need to discuss.
Oh, sure there is.
Well, you see, he and I had an agreement. In the event one of us died, the other took control of the business in exchange for a nominal sum.
You lie, sir.
It was signed last year. The document lies with Mr. Shaw there. He also has your money, $500.
My husband's property was worth 100 times that. You thief! You murderous thief!
Madam Leclerc, I will ask you to watch your manners. I have good standing in this town.
Oh, you do you?
I am a man of impeccable morality.
Oh, well, then you have little to fear of death. You god-awful swine!
As the first shot rang out, chaos erupted. Hurley, sharp-eyed as ever, caught sight of the coveted documents and swiftly veered off to retrieve them. Meanwhile, we created a diversion back to the wagon, using explosives to scatter the enemy like leaves in the wind. The bodies of our foes fell like flies, a grim testament to the lawless world we navigated.
I'm down, all right. Be careful, Hawley.
Careful as we can be.
Surely that is the last of them.
I believe it might be.
Up there. Stop the wagon just ahead.
This is a good spot. Pull up. I'll take it from here. Here are the documents, madam. They were forged.
Of course they were forged.
Here.
I don't need to see them.
No, I don't suppose you do. Although there's
There's Grace Lansing, but she will have to wait. And also, we have to decide how we're gonna clear all our names and extricate ourselves from the mess we have uncovered.
Not sure the state authorities take too kindly to revenge killings, madam.
No, I'm sure they don't. But that's a problem for another day. Because right now, that little plot is over. And my husband has been avenged. My friends, my true friends. I owe you more than words can say. Thank you. And should our paths cross again, and, well, I'm sure they may. But right now, I need to make myself scarce. And I recommend that you all do your best not to get into too much additional trouble. That's your business. My poor husband, he deserves so much better than this, but this is what he got. This is what we all got. Drive on, Mr. Hawley.
that we couldn't shake off the accusations, we finally uncovered the culprit behind our framing. We dealt with that issue swiftly. As a criminal now, I can't help but wonder what new doors will swing open for me in this wild, lawless world. Because our story isn't done just yet.
Here they are. So, you've made it clear what kind of a fella you are. I don't judge you for it. As long as you do all I ask of you, what you do elsewhere don't bother me or my mistress one jot. But, good, bad, or indifferent, you gotta make yourself a living. This is Samson Finch.
Yep.
Mr. Finch is like you or like me. He has a bone to pick with some fellas as did him a wrong.